Okay, so yeah, I'm going to be doing some modeling that I'm going to add to my Thingiverse page. I'm making models from Oddworld and making them freely available for everyone. Just making them in Blender. So I'll go get started. I'm going to do these guys because I've already did a lot of other guys. These ones seem kind of unique and kind of easy. So I'm hoping they'll just work. So open up Blender, drop it in as a background image, and we can just get started from there. Yeah, I'm going to add a mirror modifier. Going to turn on clipping, going to turn on subdivisions. And going to move the background image. Let's rotate. Control Y to redo. Nope. Mirror. Subdivision. I think you're 0. So that one? Yeah. So that again, doesn't matter. Okay. So we can get going. That's kind of going to be a speed sculpt. Hopefully, won't take much longer than an hour. I don't need proper reference or anything for this. I'll just work roughly. These are all 3D printable ready models available in that Sketchfab link. Sketchfab Thingiverse link that I posted a minute ago. Imagine them having a big bulbous belly. Then I'll just get the rough forms in, and then I'll go in with multi-res and start sculpting. Characters in Oddworld are so weird. That's why we love them. Maybe with another loop there at some point, but for now, that's fine. It's got like tiny elephant feet. That's weird. I might accentuate them a bit so that it can be 3D printed properly. A bit wide from the side, so I'll try bringing that down. Going to add some eyes in. Separate them out, position them. Yeah, that looks kind of fine. Don't know whether to go in and just do that all in actual sculpts. What would the back of his head look like? Is he just wearing a cap? Didn't mean that. Yeah, so I'll just duplicate this, bring it out, use it as a cap. I'll set solidify to give it a little bit of thickness. It's probably too thick. That'll do for the now. I'll shape it up later. It's a bit of a shame I've already did all the main characters from Oddworld. And I didn't record them all because I'm silly. Okay, so I think that's basically that. No. It's probably a bit shorter than that, but I think it's a bit wider as well, actually. Gonna briefly turn off clipping so I can do just the framework for an eye. Turn it back on now. You must just be hearing click, 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 click. I kind of want that reference up all the time, so I'll just bring this out a wee bit and have that there. I think you can pin it. There we go. So he's got some bags under his eyes here. I like the way that cuts. I don't really care about the edge flow that much because it's going to be sculpted. I want it not to be horrible, but stuff like that's fine for the now. Could do with another loop down the middle in general. Go in and fix this. It's looking a little bit too far up now. Let's drag everything down a wee bit. Push all that in and sculpting properly. Yeah, that'll kind of do. I think I widened that. Just the hat. Pull this out. Does look more pronounced, this front bit. Cool, since I added that loop, I've now got some peg definition. Also want to smooth this out a wee bit. So Looks a little bit flat at the back. I'll just even that out a bit. That should be slightly further down that way as well. And this should probably actually be more out to the back. Doesn't really look like it yet. Yeah, this could do it a wee bit bigger. Cool, we've been going 12 minutes. We'll get this far. That's pretty cool. Again, I'll do that detail another way in the sculpting time. Just going to make a duplicate in case I mess stuff up. How many fingers have you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But they're all in a line rather than one offset for a thumb. So I think this guy was from Munch's Odyssey, which I didn't play very much. I didn't like the controls or the character design that much. I thought these guys were weird and didn't really fit in with the Abe's season. But it's one of the more interesting characters from Munch. He's got these weird horns. For 3D printing, as long as each of the shells are watertight, when you intersect stuff, the slicer figures it out now. Didn't used to, but in more newer slicers, we don't need to bother with boolean and stuff that together anymore. If we don't need to. Cool. They're definitely further out though. Definitely messed something up here. Need definitely got a wider part of his head up there. I've turned on screencast keys here. They might not be that useful because I'm using some custom shortcuts kind of carried over from Blender 2.49 back in the day. I really hated that swap from 2.4 to 2.5. And I think I didn't actually make the swap over until 2.6. I basically did the same with 2.8. 2.9's out now. I've not really touched 2.8. I stuck around in 2.49 because why did I? Yeah, it was the shortcuts. I have not made the jump to the new 2.8 yet because it removed the game engine, and I use the game engine quite a bit, so for prototyping and stuff. It's looking slightly more like it now in the head area. looks kind of floppy at the back, so try and keep that in. I don't know if I need to make his eyes bigger or something. I'm hoping that'll all just kind of come together in this sculpt. I've got enough definition around here for it to come in the sculpt. Define those cheekbones a bit, I think. Cool. Then I might copy one of these fingers and use it as a finger. That'll do. Yeah, I don't really care about this character that much, so I'm not really gonna voila billion it. Nah, I'm not gonna bother. Maybe 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Then there's a knuckle at each of these. There also seems to be a really thin bit. It's probably a nail at the end. Yeah, I don't want to get too fiddly with this detail because I know it's going to be printed. It's going quite flat at the end there. I'm not too happy with that. Make it a bit more square. Oh, it's looking horrible. Shouldn't have copied that horn. We can fix it, it's fine. Let's give them some more definition. Looks like they've got a little bit of a bow in the middle as well. Might do a double ringer around the knuckles to help them stand out. Really messed this nail up. That little bulbous bit at the end, it's pretty cool. I'll read from some angles, but not all. Which isn't the best when you're dealing with a 3D model, but oh well. And that seems good enough for this kind of speed sculpt. Might thicken it up a little bit, maybe 0 point. Do that again. Nope. 0.01. Yeah. How long is it in comparison to his? Not that much. Oh, we're going 21 minutes. Now should his default resting position be down or up? I might build in these later in the sculpt. or not bother. He's got these bits coming down here, so I kind of do want that to be in here. Enough room for 5 of these. Thicken that bit out. Four, 5. Slight variation. They don't look as copy pasted as they are. I could do another loop down there, but that's going to add. Would that be useful? I don't think it'll be that harmful. I'll give it a bit of thickness. Yeah, that could work. That'll let me add the geometry here for this being like in a bulbous bit. Alright, so I did another duplicate. That's kind of my version control within a blend file. If I ever do anything wrong or break something, I can just go back and grab an old model. I might end up going with this guy's pose, but just model him in T for the now. Although by saying that, those fingers are actually the other way around then, aren't they? It's Control L, there we go. Yeah, that should be fine. I've got his pants for the now. That one too. Same as the hat. Just duplicate it and add a surface. No, that's the wrong one. Solidify. Where's the offset? Here we go. These pants look really droopy. They go quite high. I wonder what the back's like. Does it go into a thong or is it just more of a Y front? It'd be slightly funnier if it went a bit narrower at the back, so I'm just going to leave it like that. I should probably look up the reference later, but we'll do for the new. Then I'll get some asymmetric sculpting in there later. That's looking quite good. Got some clipping. Do. So now I've realised I forgot to back up the hat and the shorts. Use the model without the light as well, so I just get flat colours. So that might be his base done, apart from the headphones and stuff. Quickly do the headphones. a much wider curve than I've got there. It's a bit more like it. I think it's thinner as well. And I'm going to turn on smooth shading as well. That's looking a bit better. Blue shading on this too. I always forget what tab that one's in. It does say shading on it, but the context sensitive thing, it disappears when you're not in that mode. Look at this one here, those are actually not the way I've modeled those, so I think they go kind of bulbous in the middle and then kind of stocky. A little bit of a taper at the end, I think. And they're further out. Yeah, that'll do. Then the actual circular bits of the headphones. We'll add a cylinder. Doesn't need to be 32. 16. Add a couple loops. Straight them in. I'm also going to turn on this auto merge thing, so I don't need to keep removing doubles. And this is a new mesh, so it then needs smooth as well. What did I just minimize? Okay, I don't need that. I've also added this shortcut where if you double tap, right click, it selects the whole shell, which is just really useful. I don't need to go all the way over to L every time I want to select something like that. That's much tighter in than it is in my head. What does it look like? I think that's much wider. Yeah, there we go. I don't know what these bits are at the end. Getting the kind of bulbous out. Oh. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm going to delete a few loops here. These are going to be little rivety bits around the edges. Oops, I only did that one axis. Right, looks good. Are these perfectly aligned? Yes, okay. I'll do that. It looks like there's 4 around it, so I'll just do the 2 and then 90. And then they're definitely not the right size, so 3D print will make them slightly bigger than they need to be. Then I'll do a duplicate, so I've got that bit at a flat state. And for the now, I will just rotate them into place. This guy needs rotated backwards a wee bit as well. too high. I might split these off into their own objects so I can select them quickly. So I think it's probably somewhere around there. It's probably actually a bit smaller than that. In a wee bit. Cool, that was good to me. Then I'll add this little antenna thing. What's the best bet with that? It's got one weird curve. Try it just with this. Curve, and then it's got a ball on the end. I'll do with just scaling it up now. I'll do. Could do with being a bit tighter. Really use like proportional editing for this, but it takes forever to turn it on and off. I should just learn the shortcut. Cool, and I'll separate that and then turn off the mirror. Still want the subsurf though. I thought, no, I did the wrong one. Don't undo too much. Yeah, it's scaring me. I just had the mirror back. Oops. Move up. So I want you to not have a mirror. I'll do still want the subsurf. Also want that. It's gonna be a really fiddly detail for 3D printing. Some weird supports around that coiled bit. Where does it look like it plugs into? There. It's good to me. Right, I'll take a backup of these new headphones. Oops. I think that's Dropbox more than me saying I've pressed save too many times. Okay, I'll save as. I'll save it as 2. Cool. So do I need any more definition in this area? What we do those point? This guy's so weird. Sore neck here. 35 minutes in, basically got made. It's just the sculpting after this. I might remove his fingers for the sculpt. Yeah, I'm gonna, because they're gonna get like super high if I don't. Yeah, everything else can stay. Yeah, cool. Sculpt time. So back that up. Grab. Then I want to apply the mirror. Do you want to apply the subsurf? Or do I leave it? It's still manageable, it's fine. Although on that, I'll remove these. not delete, separate. Okay, then add multi-resolution and subdivide a few times. Nope, that's looking quite pinchy in his nose area. Yeah, I'll start with the easy stuff. In his chest, and I'll make sure I'm on. Where's this normal draw? There we go. I'm going to turn on a matte cap though. I can remember where they are. There we go, matte caps. Make it look like it's ZBrush. That going on there. I need to edit my settings so that it goes around the last stroke, but I'll do that before the next stream. So we're doing this with only me in the stream at the moment. I'm going to use this as a tutorial, but it's something to upload to YouTube or whatever. It's just strange. I wonder what the back of these bits look like. Imagine just some gross skin. I start getting all the details that I couldn't get in before. A bit there. The music has just gone off. Continue. It's got text. I should also learn these sculpting shortcuts. I might soon, but I don't know them yet. I think some of them actually, I think they're all based on the numpads, and I've got my emulate numpad on, so I don't need to reach over the other side. So I'll need to remap them, I think. Also, these things are going to be printed really small, like miniature sized. So stuff like eye flaps, nah, I'm just going to, like that's probably fine. This cheek is much lower than I'd anticipated. You're slightly squintier than I had as as well. It's looking a little bit more like what it is. It's still a bit squinty though. Still just me in the stream. Don't know if anybody's popped in and out. I don't have any buttons for that. Buttons, noise, for if that happens. Okay. I can really need to dig out this cavity under the eye before I get to the cheek. And that's kind of what defines the form of this eye. There we go. And go in and clean it up. It's maybe too bulbous for the now. You too. Yeah, that's good. It does look quite sharp down there. A couple of little lines. Little pockets in here too. The geometry does not want to play with me on that bit though. I'll do that in the next subdiv down. Look like that and then to save. I don't really know what's going on at this front bit. It looks disgusting. How far down does it go? Kinda. Maybe another one for the next subdiv down. I should have built that into the base model. Yeah, that's good enough. So there'll be quite a lot more detail at the next subdiv down for that, but I think there's some strange speckling around here and then what's this, like a zip? Good enough. Yep, good enough is the word. It's got the same kind of thing as Abe does, where the rib cage has this tiny wee bit there. Let's tighten up some of those lines. enough. So yeah, don't know what the back looks like. Can make some assumptions that there's probably some kind of spine and rib cage, but how much of that actually gets shown, I don't know. A bit pointy. These veins are going to be fun later on. Oh well. I think there's quite the space for that detail at this subdiv. I think there's some kind of old necklines in here. Should probably get put in. What else? Oops. Let's work onto the legs. Look at these weird elephant things going on. A lot of creases in these legs. Again, this is going to be the next level up that really makes this stuff pop. If I can be bothered, that is. I'm assuming not many people are going to care about this character. I don't even know what he's called. I didn't play much of it. Munch. Look at that, we're sticking out on that side, kind of looked like it's got a muscle in it. That's what I should be aiming for. Yeah. Muscly, flabby skin. Good. We're 50 minutes in. Probably not going to get this done in the hour. We can try. This was just a streaming experiment, just to see if I could talk this long, see if I got all the setup right. Watch it on a character that didn't really matter, in case I messed up. I'm sorry to whoever actually designed this character. I know I'm basically just slagging it off. A bit too angular. That's fine. Oops. So we had some kind of irregularity. That's just a bit smooth. Finally, the arms. start this bit. So I think these kind of tendon details should be more prominent on the other side. Doesn't mean they shouldn't be here though. No. Which one was it? That one. Push that out. Yeah. I mean, this will be changing anyway, but you won't notice the seam as much when it's further on. Okay, so as I said, these hand tendons should be much more prominent on this side. Here. I think I've stretched that geometry there too much and it's gone into the other sides. Smooth that out to get it back. There we go. Later on, I might need the actual layer brush to get clay strips. Oh, that looks like an normal now. Let's dial it back a bit. Dial it back here. Clay strips looks nice on the wrist there. Save. Good thing about these weird, like alienish characters, you can get away with a lot of the anatomy just looking a bit scruffy. Whereas you would tell on a human if it was wrong. Here it doesn't matter so much. I'm just going to leave this as a kind of nondescript blob with some lines and stuff in it for now. I think there's some weird twisting going on in this arm and some strange fleshy bits. These are not muscly, but I need to show that muscle in there. Okay, and I'm running out of geometry. Yeah, that's probably the base pass. This could maybe do with some indication of what should be going on here. Nah, again, the geometry's not there. Because I'm using multi-res, I can't go in and add stuff just there. That would be too useful. So I'll duplicate him down there. And I'm so lucky, I'm so glad I had mirror on for that whole thing, because that would have been rubbish if I didn't. I'll jump up to the next res and see how good that is for sculpting. Start with these knees. Can I get the detail I want in here, or do I need to go up one more? $56, getting close to an hour. There's usually like a calf bone in there, isn't there? This'll do. I don't think I'll go much higher res than this. This doesn't need it because it could be pretty so small. Yeah. What's that actually look like in the... Yeah, maybe. Some of these tapered down sides, but I don't think I've got the geo for that though. Yeah. Yeah. I think clay strips might be quite good for this down here. Kind of layer them on top of each other. Sorry, I wonder how noisy this is. Actually, I'm going to add one more layer because I don't think I was getting what I was needing in that previous layer. That's looking much better. I might just add some more random surface stuff. I think when you get this high up, adding stuff with clay strips, they all just look like burn victims. It's looking good. Some of these are looking a bit sharp now. Soften out, sharpen up the bits that need sharpened up again. I'll do. It's probably around the right level to add stuff to there. Oh, that completely messed that up. But I'll go up and do this detailed stuff first. Definitely. A suggestive mouth going on there. It's kind of banana-y at these bits down the side. Fill it into the middle a bit. We've hit an hour. We're an hour and 1 minute. Oh, my neck is killing me now. It might be defined here by how much my neck can take. Used to say that's how you knew you were done, or how you knew you had a good session at Blender. How sore is your neck? The burn victim-y thing kind of lends itself to this type of character, I think. It's quite good. I wonder how long posing will take on this guy, because he looks pretty much done now. Just add some random noise to everything else. Did I do that to his knees and stuff already? I don't think I did. Otherwise, it's just noise. Just make it less like a pop figure. I'd say it looks pretty good. It's pretty close to the concept. I might want to lift those eyebrows up a wee bit. Good enough. I'll add some definition to the actual eyes. How big are they? I'm going to go for this loop. At the front, please. It's looking a bit cockeyed, so I'll just bring them out a wee bit. That'll do. And these are all reasonably obsolete now, so I'll just back this one up. This is when the files start to get very chunky. And I'm about to do some destructive stuff. So this is going to be a 3D print, so I do want it to be able to stand on its own and have a semi-dynamic pose. So we'll try to match that first picture, I think. And since I'm using multi-res here, it keeps all the details. Sometimes it messes up, but it should be keeping all the details from the sculpt and just kind of warping it. Oh, missed a bit. I'm going to give him a slightly wider stance just to help the 3D print layer. That's probably good enough. Annoyingly, his body has got quite a big twist to it. That's going to be hard to match up these eyes. I might set my origin point to 3D cursor and put the cursor down here. Turn on proportional editing. It's much higher. It's not quite doing what I want there. Maybe if I just move it higher. Yeah, that's where I was on. But I did want to know what angle I used. Is that minus 14? I'm going to need to do the mirror on that now. Or minus 14. It's going to go. It's fine, we're past that point. Minus 14. Minus the hat. Let's give that a mirror. Minus 14. There you go. Is that a better pose? Nah. Cool. Then I'll give his body a little bit of a squint. What way does it go? So this back leg is back that way, so I'll squintify him the other way around. I'm going to turn this back to normal for now. Just a little bit of a twist in the body. And nightmare to match up these fingers, won't it? Turn that off. Ah, crap, did not mean to do that. I think I can get away with that. Yeah. Then you do it down here a wee bit. You get a bit pinchy, but I think it's probably fine here. Oh, belly's run brown. Just to kind of even that pose out a wee bit. Oh, that definitely is forward, I think. Again, just to even out. Yeah. It's looking cool. And then these fingers. What pose are we going? How many of these? There's 4 of them down. I could do them all at once. And then just tweak them afterwards. Get away with that? Yes. Is this still mirrored? It is, but it's also the same on the other side, so it's fine. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. I might have missed a loop there. Or is that bit? That might be there. Oh. Hello, new person. You might be a bit spammy, wherever you are. So then that is a section in itself, not anything else. Now for do that, get down a bit. Let me just randomly offset some of them. So it's quite good to get these embedded in the hand just for some stability in the 3D print. I'll just do that with them all, just to help the print. Ah, that's the wrong one. Okay. Yeah, that needs on that knuckle. This one's on this one. And this one is the funny one. Got away with that. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's much shorter. I had it. Yeah, it doesn't hard to make it slightly thicker as well. The concept this one is much further out than that one. So. I say concept, it's a final render, just not mine. But then I will need to dial this back down. Cool. Now that's posed, I should be able to apply that mirror. I will move that down, and then hopefully can just shift this into place on this hand. There or thereabouts at least. Yeah, that's good. Right, so there's some details on the hat and the pants, and of course those veins that I was looking forward to doing. So you can be non-mirrored now. Just move this so that nothing clips. Then I'll probably apply this, and then I don't know whether I should do the stripes or just let the people paint them in if anyone prints this themselves later. I think there is some more drapery here than some bulges. More than I've got here. The model already anyway. I'm going to give him like a groove. How long have we been? An hour and 16. That's pretty good for an hour and 16. I mind this being a bit sharper. Yeah, that's good. Oh, Dropbox is doing its unable to save thing again. So I'll save that as a third. Let's probably go back and nuke that layer at some point as well. Just looking at the... Nah, I'm not going to do that. Looks pretty good to me. I think it should probably have a base. This could be 32. I'll add a subsurf. adjusting these feet so that they sit better on this. Yeah, with a character like this, I wouldn't want to print it without a base of some sort. And that should be enough for the base. Oh, saved too many times again. So that's fine. The hat. Jump up one more subdiv. Apply that, and then do some tweaks, I think. To be honest, that should do. Get that out of the way. I also changed my move cursor to be shift click, because who needs to move it as often as just full click? Then let's set that to smooth. Sometimes I like to have a double base, not the instrument. Go. I think that's pretty good. A quick turntable. Looks like a strange DJ, like flipping the bird to someone. What did I do? It's gone. Okay. We're good. We're good. Who invented undo? Because they are an absolute genius. This could do with being a bit thinner, so I didn't do that in the middle. Got weird stuff going on now. Because that probably would cause some 3D printing artifacts. Yeah, still would. Is it my medium offset that's messing stuff up? Oh, it's too thick now. That'll do. Close enough. There may be some pockets of stuff in there. Trapped resin in the final print, but it'll be fine. Right, last thing I think is do those veins. I'm going to duplicate this body down here so I don't mess up. Then go into sculpt mode. It goes up to 4. Yep. Then where's the options for mirror? Symmetry. Turn that off for now. I also want to fix this because I feel like there should be more stretching happening there because his body moved that way. Yeah, good enough. Good enough. Just give him some idea of a spine while I'm at it. Indication of a rib cage, but it's not a rib cage on his belly, I suppose, is it? Now will I do this with this? Yeah, that was good. Just gonna kind of freehand it in. Kind of good. Too big, too big. two to find. Do some more of the ones up here. Smooth them out a little bit. I think there's an indication about the belly button on there. And then kind of split fat down the middle. Add a couple more of these, and then, I don't know, make some of them continue slightly around the back. You're never going to notice these on the actual, if you print it, but it's good to be there. Cool, I think that's it, done. So I'm going to cut the recording here. I'll take requests for other models. Just show the final thing there. So yeah, follow me on Twitter. I'm taking requests for new models. Doesn't need to be Oddworld, but take a look at the Sketchfab page, Sketchfab Thingiverse page. If there's any ones that you like that I've not done yet, give me a shout. Thanks for watching, if you did watch, and that's me.